this, there is no turning back. Remember, all I'm offering is the truth, nothing more. Do you know what I'm talking about?
This is that YouthSpin show. This is that YouthSpin show. This is that YouthSpin show.
Good night, radio listeners, and welcome to another broadcast of YouthSpin. Tonight, we will be talking about the big bang this weekend, and that is going to be Del Mar. Tonight, I have with me the one and only Queen Bee, Rebecca Webster. Right before I let her introduce herself, we'll pause for a short music break.
We love boat racing, we love boat racing. Tell them it is our thing. We love boat racing, we love boat racing. Tell them it is our thing. Fire the shot. Whoa, 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 whoa. Over 60 years ago, traveling to and from Santo Domingo. Well, this story have been told. Our forefathers of old used to race at sea so courageously. And when that journey was abolished, they used to race when they go out to fish. That was the humble beginning of our boat racing, which is so unique and exciting. Many of us should remember, down in Sandy Ground Harbor, 3 boats fighting to the finish. It was a joy and pleasure to those who were there to witness it.
And you're back with Miss Attitude as we talk about Del Mar tonight. This Easter, all roads lead to Island Harbor as Anguilla celebrates the island's seafaring heritage in the colorful festival Del Mar. Sponsored jointly by the community of Island Harbor, the Anguilla Tourist Board, and the Department of Youth and Culture, Festival Del Mar serves a dual purpose, providing our people with the opportunity to celebrate our history with generations to come, whilst offering our visitors a window into our unique cultural traditions. Festival Del Mar is one of the biggest seafood festivals in the Caribbean. This festival is held in Island Harbor annually and promotes seafood and fun. Again, I'd like to welcome once again Queen Bee, Rebecca.
Hi, good night. Good night to everyone listening, and thank you guys for having me on behalf of the Festival Del Mar committee.
So tell us a little bit about your involvement with the festival.
First of all, let me say thank you for that wonderful introduction of the festival. I mean, there's nothing more for me to say after she said all of that. I mean, after hearing that, why would you miss the festival? But I came on board. I'm new to the committee, and I, told them, I don't have time to do it, but, I want to help out. So I am in charge of the entertainment segment of the festival, and anyone who hasn't been there before needs to know that this festival is jam-packed with activities, from food to fishing to artwork, culinary competitions, and of course entertainment. You can't forget that. So it's a fun, full-packed weekend in Island Harbor, and we want to encourage people to support this event because a lot of things happen in the valley. Everything happens, at the village or in a disco. Nothing really happens in the east. So we want people to support this event put on by the Island Harbor community, of course, with the assistance of business places and the government, Department of Youth and Culture, Tourist Board, and other entities on the island.
You mentioned that you're in charge of the entertainment section.
That's what they told me.
What artists will be performing at the festival?
Oh, wow. Well, we have a big variety, and we can't just tell you to come at 6 or come at 5 because you're going to be missing out so much. Entertainment starts from 10 a.m. So we start with a DJ, and then from 12, we have steel pan, string bands. Then we go down to bands like DMB. We have Hot Shot and his group. And then at night, the scene changes. Let me see if I can go through a tentative schedule. We have deep sea fishing, model boat racing, kiddies fishing competition, sunfish exhibition, the big class boat race. We have Spring and the Boys. We have a volleyball competition. We have, it's a packed, fully packed day. DMB, Hot Shot. Then we have the fish wing. And you want to be there to see who's going to outweigh the Jackmaster. We have the DJ again from 7 at 6:30. We have the official opening ceremony, and we're gonna have DJ Castro in the evening. We have guest artists out of the UVI, and that's Rudy. She's a soca diva, and she travels to Atlanta, Miami, New York, all around the globe, entertaining, and we're happy to have her come to Anguilla. She's being sponsored by the Anguilla Sea Salt Company, so they're bringing her in especially for this event. And then to close off the night, we're gonna have Not Sound Brass International. That's Saturday night, and they're bringing in the rest of the band, including the brass section. So it's gonna be turned up. We're gonna try to keep you there from 10 to 12.
It sounds like
There's no reason to go back home.
It sounds like it's going to be epic.
And that's only for
this year.
Saturday.
So what about the Sunday then?
All right, for Sunday we have DJ Luther, and then we have the A-class boat race. We have the culinary competition. They're going to be judging the best seafood, soup, salad, seafood dish, best grilled seafood, best roasted seafood. Volleyball competition again. There's an Optimist is going to have a dinghy exhibition. We're going to have Took in the Boys, and they're going to be playing string band music. We have DJ Legend in the afternoon. Closing ceremony at 6 with trophies, prizes, vote of thanks, acknowledgement of sponsors. We're going to have Raleigh, Harrigan and Company at 7. And then at 8, it changes a little bit. We're going to have, I forgot one of my artists. Ken Yu. Oh, yeah, Ken Yu's going to be on that show. Mm-hmm. And then Natalie's going to be performing as well. And from Natalie, we're going into Roxy, and Roxy's going to be opening for guest artist Stevie Face, and he's sponsored by VP Records.
Oh, wow.
Stevie Face is out of Jamaica, and he's a reggae artist. I don't know if you YouTube them, but he has a fabulous voice, and he, of course, is going to take us into 12 o'clock. So we're trying to keep you there all day, all night.
It sounds like it has so much activities these years, but I would like to know, how has this festival transformed over the years?
How has it transformed? I don't know. I think, like I said, again, it's a community event. And I think it started out with fishermen wanted to do something. The community wanted to raise funds and doing a little thing on Easter weekend where nothing else was going on. And from there, I think Atlin was the one who initiated, he was the chairman of the committee for several years. And I guess he brought it all together, and now he's taking a step back, and the committee has changed a little bit, but again the goal is the same, to bring activity to the Island Harbor community and let people appreciate what seafood has to offer. And of course, we want to make this one of the biggest seafood festivals in the region. So we want to give people a reason to come to Anguilla for Easter weekend.
It sounds like it's going to be epic,
Yeah,
as I
there's a lot
said
of people
before.
who are already here. There's a lot of planes coming in, and we just want to, again, encourage everyone to support. I mean, you can't support all the booths, but come out and just support the event. And, of course, there's great prizes, great prices on the food. Local drinks going to be on sale. Come out and support the boat race. There's a lot of activities going on. Of course, support our local and international guest artists that are going to be coming in. This event is all about Anguilla, and it's about showcasing Anguilla's talent. So let's look at it as our next biggest event after August Monday. It's going to be bigger than August Monday soon. Hold on.
Well, I'm definitely excited about going. But Tell me, Rebecca, what is your favorite thing about the festival?
My favorite, I don't know. I guess I get the chance to see a lot of people that I wouldn't normally. You know, a lot of people go to the festival that are not involved in carnival, which I'm always around. So you get the older crowd to come out, and the food, the seafood, I guess. Because lobster is not something you eat all the time, or fish. But I must say, I mean, some of the booths have very reasonable prices. $10 for a seafood dish. Lobster from $20 and up. I mean, we know we go to the restaurants to get lobster for $65 US and up. So you got to take advantage of, you know, these situations when they come about. And of course, the mixture of music. And years gone by, I have had the chance to sing with Calypsonians for the same event. And the crowd never moved. They stayed there. They never wanted to move. You know, they stayed from afternoon until everything was over. And if there was something else going on after 12, they would still be there. So that's also encouraging for the booth owners that they can, you know, prepare their meals, get them sold. And of course, you got your local Johnny cakes and your fried fish and your soups and all these things that you wouldn't normally eat every day. You come to the valley, eat the same thing, rice and chicken, and you know. And of course, it's only dishes from the sea. So come out and support the event. They're working very hard. If you go up there, of course, let me give a shout out to the committee. Please don't ask me to call their names out because I might leave somebody out. But they've been working very hard to promote this event. And if you haven't had a chance to go up there yet, make sure you go up maybe from tomorrow evening. The booths are already set up. The stage is in place. Stage is actually across the water, you know. And our local tradesmen have put their all into trying to make this event happen.
Do you have anything else that you would like to add?
Oh, I got so much things. Oh, about the festival show. I wish I had a list of sponsors, which I don't, so I don't really want to start to talk about sponsorship. But I can just acknowledge that it wouldn't have been possible without the government of Anguilla, the Department of Youth and Culture for sure, the Anguilla Tourist Board, and Lime. Those are just a few of the sponsors that we have. Of course, VP Records is sponsoring artists. Anguilla Salt Company is sponsoring our next featured artist, which is Rudy. And we have a lot of other local entities that are sponsoring. We also are going to have a raffle going on where you get a chance, you buy a raffle ticket for $5 US and you get a chance to win lots of fabulous prizes, dinner for two, massages, boat rides, you know. So it's all about the Island Harbor community and, of course, about Festival Del Mar this weekend. And it's a community event. It's a free event. So we need your support because, you know, it takes a lot to put this event on. And people don't realize that it costs a lot to put this event on. So we're looking for your support. And go out and let the booth owners know that you appreciate them. Let the artists know you appreciate. Let the committee members know you appreciate what they're doing to put this event on.
I'd like to thank.
And I have to mention that the chairman is what's his name? Matthew Webster. So shout out to Matthew Webster and the rest of the team. Thank you guys for putting your all into making sure this weekend happens.
Okay, I'd like to thank Rebecca for coming out tonight to talk about Festival Del Mar on behalf of the community. Do you have any closing words that you'd like to add?
I just want to thank you guys at YouthSpin for having us, and tell a friend, bring a friend, and don't forget to go on our Facebook page for updates on the schedule and to see pictures of all the lovely food and yes, all the beautiful food that we have. And go on the Facebook page and get more information, get involved. If you have questions, you feel free to ask us there, and we look forward to seeing you all. I'm going to be looking to make sure I see all these faces up at Festival Del Mar.
Before you get Festival Del Mar out of your mind, I have a few do's and don'ts for Festival Del Mar. Do park at a safe distance. Parking gets tight. Don't look for chicken. There is none. Do try all the lobster, wahoo, shark, octopus, and lionfish you can. Don't eat it all at once. Your tummy will hurt. Do try some of those crab cakes. Don't swim after eating your stomach full. That's a sure way to get cramps. Do try to participate in one of the events such as the swimming relay, model boat race, cooking competitions, crab races, and whatever. There are tons of things to do. Don't sit at home on your porch. That's really boring. Do check out all the booths. There are some great little shacks that are oh so tasty at every booth, like Pokemon Gotta Catch 'em All. Do check out all the live music all weekend long. Some great local artists as well as foreign acts will grace the stage with some amazing performances. And don't not enjoy. Now we'll pause for a short music break. And we're back, radio listeners. YouthSpin is sponsored by the Department of Youth and Culture. You really didn't think that Miss Attitude didn't have any more surprises for you guys. Tonight we're gonna end off with a short discussion on the election process, and I have put my producers as my guests, so I'll let them introduce themselves.
Good night, Radio Land. This is Sherise. It's a pleasure to be here, and I can't wait for the discussion. I'm very passionate about voting, and you're right, as Anguillians, to vote and make informed choices in this election.
And it's your boy Mufasa. What's good? Radio Land, Anguilla, everybody. Yeah, this is my first time voting in Anguilla. I'm here to try to spread the awareness how important it is to vote. Let people know I'm a little frustrated with things, but yeah, we're here to be heard.
I also have another surprise. I have another guest who is actually a youth. Well, I don't know
Are we not
a younger person of the youth. Go ahead and introduce yourself.
Hi, my name is Fairon, and I really don't like politics.
So let's go straight into it. Elections. So, how do you guys feel about elections?
I'm getting pushed to the front here, but I think a lot of the politics that have been going on for the last 9-10 months it's been up and down for me. There's been some good things happening. I've seen some good things happen, but I've also seen some not so good things happen, and a lot of bickering and fighting over the politics. And I don't particularly enjoy the fighting part, but I do appreciate that things actually happen during this period of time, even if it's for show sometimes. But things, they fix up things, and basketball courts get fixed, and things for youth get, maintained a little bit. Even though it's just for that short period of time, I appreciate it. At least something's happening.
You mentioned that this is your first time voting. Are you excited?
Oh, man. To be honest, no. I could have a lot of different opinions and probably get a lot of enemies on here, and I don't want to be Mr. Controversy tonight. That's not my goal. Sometimes I feel as though maybe some of our candidates don't express themselves very well, and I feel like listening to some of the debates and talks and stuff like that that's been happening, the speeches and the community meetings, I feel like sometimes it didn't come off, to me as a youth, it didn't come off very positive for me as a young person. And it sounded like a lot of the same old. So to say that I'm very excited, not necessarily. Is it just an Anguilla problem, though? I don't think so. I think it's more than just Anguilla, too. And I think a lot of our youth in the world are facing those kind of issues with their country. I mean, you see the Arab rising. Sorry, I can't think of the proper name for that right now. But all the turmoil in the Middle East right now, a lot of that comes from it started with a lot of youth. I think a lot of people forget that started with a lot of youth in Egypt a few years ago. And that started with youth, young people, our age, And so if we want change, if we want to do things, I think it's our vote that matters. And that's why I'm excited, though, to vote. It's because it does matter. It does matter. It's not that it doesn't matter. I'm not excited because maybe my choices, but it does matter. Yeah.
And what about you, Mr. Connor? We already know your views, but tell us why you're not that much into politics.
Well, for me, it has a lot of corruption in it. Some people vote because they got, what do you call it? A little money on the side. Some vote because it's family. And just because one big head in the community say, well, we're going to vote for this person, you get a whole bunch of votes from that one person. So it doesn't really pull with me that much. And for you to get my vote, I really have to assure that you're going to do what you say and not just say it for the sake of it.
And that's actually true. You know, I remember growing up at Campus B, and you would hear children saying who they're gonna vote for when they get older, but you know that it's just who their parents are voting for. And I actually have a friend who was doing an IA on that, in that she was carrying out an investigation of the six farmers, trying to find out what was if they could have voted, what would have been their reason for voting. And one of the answers she actually had that their parents voting for a particular party as one of the options. So, Sherise, what are your views on politics?
I liked what Mr. Connor said. I thought it was very insightful. I agree with you that, you know, at times persons do vote for maybe not the best reasons. And there's a popular Calypso song I like, I think it's Repeater. And he says, don't vote for party, vote for your country. And I firmly believe in that. Unlike Mufasa, I am quite excited about voting in this election. I haven't actually just turned 18. I'm actually a little bit older than that. But unfortunately, the first time when I would have been eligible, I would have been at school. So I was up in the UK at voting time in the back of my IT lab, excited there in the lab, just making all kind of noise based on what was going on in elections and whatnot. It was a very exciting time, even though I was miles and miles away. It was still a very exciting time for me. But this time around, I actually have the opportunity to cast my vote, and that is a powerful thing. I don't think we realize how powerful that actually is. And, you know, I want to encourage everyone to go out and vote. Yes, there are certain things we don't like. Maybe in your district, you may think that, you know, you don't necessarily have the strongest of candidates or persons who wouldn't fulfill what you would like to see done. But you still have to cast your vote because your vote does count. And, yeah.
Could I cut in? I want, because you're saying, this is not my first time voting, though. I've voted for Barack Obama twice in the States. So to me, my first time voting was when Barack was running his first time. So I felt like I was really excited then. I think, you know. So now, I'm excited to vote down here. But again, I have issues with choices, you know. And maybe that's what I don't agree on necessarily. But I got to make a tough choice and still do something.
I mean, at the end of the day, we have to realize that we're voting in people who we want to lead our country, and if we want our country to progress forward, then we have to vote in the right people. So I think it's a very important thing for everyone to realize and grasp and really understand.
Mufasa spoke about the options we have now, but what I would like to see in the future are more younger persons, you know, stepping up to the state, stepping up and, you know, putting themselves forward for elections. Younger, educated persons with a vision. I think that's one of the most important things, a vision for Anguilla. So I'm putting that challenge out to all young persons right now. You know, in the next 5 years, I hope to see a number of you out there contesting the elections.
I'm going to cut you off.
With a plan for how we can move Anguilla forward.
No, that's it. With a plan. That's what I want to hear.
Vision
a vision with a plan.
Yes, of course. That's
with
what we
a plan.
need.
With actual steps to go forward with as a country together. Instead of, we need this and the problem with this is this. Okay, well, thanks for telling me the problem. Can you tell me the solution? Could you help me get the solution? Can you, you know, I think that's more what I'm looking for. I'm looking for people that are willing to actually do, period, do, and stop sitting down and what is our word there? Volunteers. I don't want to tease.
Can you tell them what volunteers means?
Volunteers is a person that verbally commits to something and says they will do something, but in, you know, the last minute or something, they're like, oh, you know, excuses fly all of a sudden, you know. That's the volunteers. I don't want a poly-tease, you know what I mean? I don't want a politician teasing me, telling me that, oh, so and this and that gonna happen, and you just never even see it. And like I said, this is why I like this period of time, because this is when they're actually doing stuff that they feel like, oh, I gotta fix up the basketball court, I gotta, clean up the road, I gotta, help so and so down the street, get their grandmother to a doctor or something, That feels nice for the time. I don't want us to forget about that when it's time. We're 3 years into your term, and we're struggling. It happens. We need help.
But what can we do to encourage more young people to actually take that step forward?
I think it's what Sherise actually said. Young people actually stepping up to the plate and saying, I have something to say as leaders.
Mm-hmm.
Well, there are platforms for young persons, potential persons who may be interested in politics. We have coming up, hopefully in a couple of months, we will have the establishment of the Youth Parliament.
Mm-hmm.
So that is one forum. I will encourage all young persons to
True.
join. Well, eligible persons, I
Yeah.
believe the age range is 13 to 30. I believe so, 13 to 30. So, if you do have an interest in politics and interest in moving Anguilla forward, definitely join that. It's a forum for young people to get together and share ideas and come up with solutions for moving Anguilla forward. And also to training. It's very important for training as well, because you'll get to almost shadow the actual parliament. So it's a great opportunity for all persons.
I was gonna say, I think it's really important that young people do get involved with the process at a younger age, because honestly, as a younger person, you have more fire in your belly, and you want change to happen. And most changes that happen in this world happen from young people. We're the spark. We're the people that have the energy, the time, the willingness to go out and campaign and show people that we care about things. And I think right now in our present time, we do that, but in a very different way. And in our Anguillan, specifically here in our rock, I think we need to, as young people, stand up on that same and voice our opinions and voice ourselves. And I think for a long time we've been put down here, and negativity has come down, rained down upon us, and sometimes, and it's just all about being positive to yourself, and loving yourself and knowing what you believe in as a person, and you gotta think about those things sometimes. You can't just go through life. But as young people, standing up together, especially together as one. We all suffer, and we all this and that. It doesn't mean we have to be all fractioned off in different ways and going all different ways. We're one country. We need to figure out what is our direction, as young people. Serious. But these are conversations that we're not taught to have. We don't have as people in Anguilla, and it's tough, but I think we gotta break out of that box.
You said that. Do you have something to say, Mr. Ghana? Go ahead.
Well, I like Mufasa's point where he says that young people have to hear the voice, because nowadays days when young people talk, most adults will act like they're listening, but really and truly they're not listening. But when they speak, we have to listen. That's true, yes, but when we speak, just give us a chance to understand what we're saying. So when we come across it next time, it doesn't be like a big bold balti.
But do you find that a lot of youths are speaking up? Because we have a selected few that are doing so, but what about the ones that are actually following the elections? It's only a select few. What about the ones who will be voting for their first time this year, and as was said earlier, just voting because their parents support a particular party? What can we do to change that, to change their view, to have an honest vote?
Well, that's a tough question, but if you give them the chance to understand what the parties are saying, then forcing down the throat, we're going to vote for AUM, or we're going to vote for AUF, and let them interpret it themselves and figure out what they want to do, then it would be a lot better than, you're voting for AUF or you're voting for AUM.
Well said. I don't find that a lot of youths in Anguilla follow politics, if you see what I mean. I don't know how we can instill that characteristic inside of our youths from small.
I think it's like what Mr. Connor said, he's by far the youngest person in this room, and he said he doesn't like politics because he thinks it's of a corrupt nature, and that perhaps at times persons don't emulate, the behavior emulated isn't the best. So at this time, I would like to encourage all our politicians. You know, we have a couple of weeks before elections, so when you do go and you have your meetings, to emulate behavior and conduct that young persons listening in or looking on can say, you know, something. That is something I might want to do in the future, or, you know, I want to hear more of what you say or what's going to be done in the to move this country forward.
Yeah. I think it comes on. For me personally, I put a lot of responsibility in adults. I put some responsibility in a child, but a lot of it comes from an adult. So if you're a young person growing up and you don't know about the system, it's not necessarily your fault. You're taught about these things. You need to be taught. One thing that a young ambassador with us, Mr. Clemville, I think Clemville's an ambassador too, yeah. Clemville Hodge brought up this point to me 2 years ago, a year ago, I think in front of the whole conference, the youth conference, that there's no civic engagement class in Anguilla. That's crazy to me. How can you be a functioning democratic society, but you're not teaching your young citizens how to participate in that system?
True.
It doesn't work that way. That means that you're actually trying to conform people to make sheeples and let them follow what you say, and that's it. And not question, and not ask, you know, can you do something for me and my country? You know, it's just more like, oh, you know, like you guys are saying, let's follow who the big head says to vote. That's a sheeple. We don't need sheeple. We need leaders, right? We always talk about this and developing leadership and things like that. Well, we need to educate people on the structure. If we don't do that, then to me, there's nothing. There's no foundation for young people to know about these things, is my point. There's just none. It's all passed by word of mouth, which is good sometimes and it works sometimes, but if you don't have somebody there to help you learn about the process, you don't have somebody to teach you where the polling stations are and how do I go sign up before, you know, I have to go vote, how long do I have to sign up before I have to go vote, and you know, you start missing deadlines, you know, you're not thinking about it because you're not taught about it. You don't know about it. So I think a civic engagement class is something that would change that, would change a whole lot of stuff. I hope young people actually participate in parliament because that is a civic engagement class. That's what that is. You know, that's something you should get into if you really want to make change. If you're thinking as a young person, you're sitting down, you're like, man, like everybody's always negative on me and I can't do anything right and this and that. As a young person, this is where I'm going to assign responsibility to you because you're realizing something here. You're realizing that you want to do something and you don't know how. Well, that's your step. You know, that you got to get up, get out, and do something at that point. If you're feeling irritated, that's what that means inside, you know, that you want to do something. Well, you got to get up and actually do it. Take responsibility upon yourself. Even if you weren't taught certain things, that doesn't mean you can't learn, you know.
Just some information about the voting process for our listeners. We have the first step is to find your name, then to finger check, receive your ballot, mark your X, ballot inspection, dip your finger, and then deposit your ballot. You will not be allowed to vote if you have electoral ink on your finger, your name is not on the voters list, you refuse to dip your finger in the electoral ink. Also, our polling stations, we have Island Harbor District number 1, Sandy Hill District number 2, Valley North District number 3, Valley South District number 4, Road North District number 5, Road South District number 6, and West End District number 7. Just an example of the polling stations in Island Harbor. All persons whose surnames begin with letters A to H will vote in polling station 1. All persons whose surname begin with letters I to R will vote in polling station 2. And all persons whose surnames begin with letters S to R will vote in polling station 3. And this will take place at the Vivian Vanderpool Primary School. For more information, visit www.gov.ai/electoral office for more information. Now we'll take a short music break. And you're back with your girl attitude for YouthSpin. We're gonna wrap up our comments on the electoral process, our views on it. What are your thoughts, your final thoughts, Mr. Connor?
Well, my final thoughts is even though I don't like politics, I am encouraging people on the outside to vote and vote right, not for what people say.
Right.
Well
And
said.
make sure it's the right vote, please. I have to grow up here too, not only your children.
I like that, Mr. Connor.
Nice.
Along this similar line, I just want to encourage all persons out there to come out on election day, and I believe it's April the 22nd. Come out on election day, cast your vote. And we've been emphasizing voting, but also we want to emphasize making an informed choice, having an informed vote. So you still have an opportunity to, listen to the different parties, hear what their stance is on the various views. Ask questions as well. Don't just listen. Ask questions. Allow hold persons accountable, not only now for what they're saying now, but eventually for whoever's to come into power. Let's hold them accountable for what they said that they will do. So again, go out and vote, and if you want more information, visit the electoral website.
And for me, I would say, let's change our system. Get out and vote. Period. End of story. And full stop.
You stole my line.
Yeah, full stop. No, vote.
Yes,
Get out there and
vote.
vote. Do something. Let's get active.
It's your vote, your choice, your right.
Well, everyone pretty much wrapped it up for me, but as they said, your vote is your voice. You are voting in someone into your country as a leader. We have to be able to vote for people who we want to change our country into the country that we want, into the Anguilla that we want our children to live in, that we want our children to stay in, to come back when they go to university, So I'll end it there with...
I would just like to say something quickly. Attitude. I just want to encourage persons to actually go to YouthSpin's YouTube page, because if you're a listener, you would have heard our last two shows, which actually focused on the Anguilla we want, which is from a youth perspective, youth speaking about what they would like to see in various sectors, whether education, health, governance, etc. So really go to that page and listen to those shows. It was a really, really good conversation, very insightful, and it really gives an insight into what it is young people actually would like to see, in the future for Anguilla.
Yeah, check out our YouTube. Seriously, there's a lot of great information on there. There's a lot of great interviews with a lot of real influential people around Anguilla. I post them up every week. I haven't gotten to last week's one yet. I've been very busy, but I'm gonna have it up by tomorrow. Sorry. Oh, the check. It's YouthSpin. YouthSpin at. It's just YouthSpin. You just have to search YouthSpin. No space. Don't put a space in it. Just search YouthSpin. No space. You can even type YouthSpin show number. We're up to 20 now. This is our 20th show.
Awesome.
Yes. Thank you. Actually, shout out my team. Thank you.
Shout out to YouthSpin.
Shout out the team. You doing it? We doing it. We big time. We about to go bigger. Don't even trip. Turn up for what? You know what I'm saying?
And shout out DYC again for being a great sponsor.
Yeah. Shout out DYC. Thanks for all the support, financially, mentally, emotionally.
And just for all the great things they've been doing for youth in Anguilla.
Yeah, in general.
Awesome job.
I think you guys are one of the most active departments. You actually do, and we appreciate that you do what you do. You understand?
Well, that was a word from our producers. But just before we end on the election process, I have some quotes for you guys. George Jean Nathan said, "Bad officials are elected by good citizens who do not vote." Another source
That's
said,
a great one.
It is. Another source said, "It's ours. After all, we own it. The politicians work for us, and we need to start demanding better." Martin Luther King Jr. said, "Our lives begin to end the day we become silent about things that matter." John F. Kennedy, "The efforts of the government alone will never be enough. In the end, the people must choose, and the people must help themselves." And lastly, Abraham Lincoln, "The ballot is stronger than the bullet."
Awesome.
That was a nice one.
I think the last one is the most true thing
Yes.
I've heard in a long time. The ballot is stronger than the
Yes,
bullet.
it
It is. The bullet becomes finite, but the ballot ends up being forever. Because that vote, whoever's in office will go down in history as a person that led your country or led your person, you know? That's amazing. I like that one.
Me too. We're gonna go to our Urban Dictionary segment, and our urban word this show is Easter Bunny. The Easter Bunny, an oviparous rabbit dexterous enough to carry baskets of candy and intelligent enough to arrange said candy in fake grass, as well as launch massive nationwide marketing campaigns aimed at getting parents to shell out for chocolate bunnies that turned out to be hollow and chocolate eggs stuffed with carcinogenic sludge. Possibly an ancient deity or demigod, but far more likely the result of government genetic experiments or the demented offspring of a chicken, a rabbit, and a Cadbury company executive.
That's all. That's the wait. A producer note. That's directly off of Urban Dictionary. The reason I put that in there is because it was so ridiculous and so crazy. It was like we all know the Easter egg. The Easter bunny has some cute little thing, you know, and the little chick peeps and everything like that. But it kind of brings a little bit of. I wanted to bring a little perspective to the whole situation. The Easter bunny is this? Yes, what this person says is kind of true. It might be a little far-fetched in some places and a little bit, but at the same time, we don't actually need to be paying attention to the fake grass and the candy and the things like that. We need to pay attention to what Easter really brings to us. And that's how, because it was so ridiculous that I was like, we could actually have a good conversation about what Easter should be for us. And it's about getting together with your family and enjoying Festival del Mar. And, you know, if you have your religious celebrations, it's about going to your religious celebrations and those kind of things. And I've always known, even if people aren't Christians, I've always known people that get Easter is a family holiday. You go and you get together your family, you enjoy and spend time with your family, and that's what I think is really important personally. And
True.
so the reason I made it so ridiculous is so we can actually bring it home and say, you know, man, I really need to focus on what's important.
It's so funny about those season traditions, I would say, you know, because it's like with Easter, you know, it's all about going after the chocolate and doing the little treasure hunts, and then Christmas is all about getting the gifts and the tooth fairy hiding your tooth under your pillow. You got $1.
Are those actual Caribbean traditions, or are those more American? Do we actually do that in the Caribbean? Do people actually go out and do egg hunts and those things? Okay.
they do.
I think because the egg hunt thing actually comes from a different. That comes from a whole different thing, and that's a worldwide thing. Because when I was reading up on Easter all day today, trying to figure out what I should put on here, and Easter is it's a worldwide thing. That's not But I will say this consumerism Easter.
And that's what I'm speaking of.
That is a very American thing, and that's Americana.
Because here, as you said, it's very much about family and spending time with family. It's very religious time as well, you know. And for persons, the lucky persons, it's a time to travel. You know, a lot of sports clubs will be going away this weekend. Unfortunately, I am stuck here, but I will be enjoying the festival, so maybe I have it better than they do.
Don't worry, you're gonna be enjoying the festival. I will be enjoying the festival as well. No joke. The festival is right down the street. You know I love Festival del Mar. Side note, right down the street from my house. Love it. It's the best festival for that reason.
Okay, guys, this has been YouthSpin, and I have been your host, Miss Attitude. Catch us next week. Well, not next week. I think we will not be having a show next week due to...
We're gonna skip. Who's
The Chamber of Commerce will be having a debate that evening, so they will be airing live on Radio Anguilla, so be sure to tune in.
Before we end, just a quick announcement. The St. Augustine's Chorale is once again performing their Easter cantata entitled My Redeemer, My Friend. Come on out this Sunday at 5 p.m. to celebrate this Easter season. Tickets are US $10 and US $5 for kids. See you there. I am Miss Attitude.
Turn out for what? Turn out for what? Turn out for what?
I'm Darren, and I'm turning out for education.
I'm EJ, and I'm turning out for marriage equality.
My name is Lil Lena, and I'm turning out for reproductive rights.
Turn out for what?
My name is Ioana, and I'm turning out for human rights.
Hi, I'm Natasha, and I'm turning out for prison reform.
Turn out for what? Turn out for what? Turn out for what? Turn out for what?
I'm Sophia, and I'm turning out for women's rights.
I'm Devendra, and I'm turning out for deforestation.
What's up? It's Lil Jon, and I'm turning out for the legalization of marijuana.
I'm Ireland, and I'm turning out for global warming awareness.
I'm Gabriel, and I'm turning out for racial equality.
Rock the vote, rock the vote, rock the vote, rock the vote, rock the vote. Vote, 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 vote.
Hi, I'm Fred. I'm turning out because I want to impress my friends. That's the only reason to ever do anything.